session to cover up the citation part. So I think that may be covered
Excellent
tomorrow.
opportunity. It will be an excellent opportunity, and I wish every success. And I'm sure that from whatever has been covered so far, things will be fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind consent to present on
No, no,
our
it's
workshop.
our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. বেরিয়ে যাচ্ছি তাহলে
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you,
okay,
sir.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So we have our next speaker, Sri Ashok Ray, sir, who is joining us from Nerist. So Ashok Ray, sir, are you there?
Yes, I am there. Can you see me?
Yes, yes, yes. Before starting, I would like to thank Ashok sir for sparing some time and being with us. I would like to introduce the speaker. He is Ashok Ray sir from Nerist, and he is having around more than 15 years of experience behind him. He happens to be my dear senior colleague from my previous institution, and he is into device modeling. He did his UG from Nerist, which is under NEHU, that is Northeastern Hill University. His master's is from IIT Bombay, where he was a student of the great Ram Gopal Rao sir, the present director of IITD. And he has already completed his PhD work. It's just pending award from IIT Guwahati. We are very privileged to have him with us. He will be discussing how to use open source circuit simulation or device simulation softwares with us, because these things are very costly. So he will help our researchers as well as students and faculty members, because many of the institutions do not have financial backup, so they can do research in these areas with the open source softwares, whether it is from physics department, electrical, electronics, or anybody working in devices. So thank you, sir, for being here.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we have quite a huge audience, 99 people almost. So I tried to search few softwares for device simulation, but we'll discuss that part later on. But can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I will talk about device simulation in the end, but let us first of all talk about the circuit simulator. So the most popular or rather prestigious software that we have, the one that came out very early, was called the SPICE. It was called, it is an acronym stands for Simulation Program with Integrated Circuit Interfaces. It was an open source program, and it was developed at University of California at Berkeley. So it was a very powerful software, and people were very happy to have such kind of simulator which could quickly produce the output result. Let us say you have some kind of circuit that you want to quickly draw. Let us say that you want to quickly find out something, what is the response of this, what is the output voltage of this. So this kind of circuits, we have some voltage, we have some resistances kind of thing, R1, R2. So if you want to find out something like this very quickly, so it was almost a paperwork that had to be done. But with the emergence of this SPICE simulator, which is a computer-based program, so the simulation was very fast and circuit design was very, very fast. So it was the first SPICE was called SPICE 35F. And then ngSpice is a version that is very popular among scientific community, partly because it is very well maintained. Every nowadays you will see the software being updated. Like see this manual that we are looking at, it's 18th October 2020. So I mean to say that everything that comes up is very recent and very fast, and it's done very regular, and people are very active in this group. And a few years back, we didn't have any kind of Windows version, because a few years back I was a Windows fan. I always used to use Windows for all my work, but my screen is not visible. I shared my screen. Now I'm sharing. Can you see my screen? I got a...
No, sir. We are not able to see your screen, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Oh, it's visible. Okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's visible. Okay, okay. So fine. So fine. So yeah, because it is regularly updated and well maintained, kind of well maintained. And so I was a Windows fan, so I used to do most of the work since kind of Windows. At that time, we didn't have any Windows version for this ngSpice software. But recently, we also have a Windows version. If you go to this particular website, they now have got a detailed Windows kind of software, how to install and how to run kind of this. But presently for my work, I will use the Linux version. Both versions are same. The only thing is that Windows will have some kind of other way of operation. But in fact, programs you write in Windows will also work for the Linux. There is no problem with this. And this is the website called the sourceforge.net, that they maintain this complete website, and everything that you want to download can be easily found over this page. I'm getting some feedback from Sohail sir. Okay, it's okay, fine. So fine. So anything that you want to find out, or something new happening that you want to learn about the software, can be very well found on this particular website. You see, it contains every data, every information, every kind of tips and tricks also is sometimes available on these websites. Besides this, so this was the Spice. So basically, when we started to learn this Spice, we found out that people they had to write some kind of codes to make the circuit. So codes were required to make a circuit. But this looked very abrupt, and it was very unimaginable that how do we write a circuit using codes? So slowly I'll introduce you, guide you how to write the codes. But there are a few things before we see what can be done using ngSpice. So in ngSpice, we can see that it is a very powerful tool, and all the modern simulator that you see in the market is basically they use the Spice code. So all if you see Cadence, you see any kind of software, the basic code, because it's an open source software, so it is available for free use, and if you want to manipulate, you can change it according to yourself. So all the things that contain the basic idea behind circuit simulations all comes from the ngSpice. So you can very easily, we'll see some passive component simulation. What are passive components? Passive components are basically those components like resistances, capacitances, and inductors. Why they're passive components? Because in fact, there are various definitions of passive components. They don't have any bias voltage, cut-in voltage. If you see that these devices, that basically they have got no cut-in voltages. Okay, they have no cut-in voltages. So this is another way of saying what is the difference between passive components and active components. Like if you take a diode will have a cut-in voltage. If you take a BJT, it has got its own cut-in voltage. Like there is base terminal, then you have got emitter terminal, and then you have the collector terminal. So you have a cut-in voltage between base and emitter. So these are the passive components. So I mean to say, so we can simulate this particular components. So another is that this is source independent voltage and current sources. Like we see that we can have a voltage dependent voltage source or voltage dependent current source. Like let us say this is some kind of voltage dependent voltage source. So this is some kind of, or maybe you can take current source. So maybe the current is dependent upon some current in some node, which is, let us say, some current that is function of some node in the IX. So these kind of current simulation are also possible. And semiconductor device, so well, this is very popular area of simulation, and almost all semiconductor devices that you have can be very well simulated in the ngSpice that we are going to learn. So you have diodes and transistors, very well it can be simulated. And if you want to make some circuit, some device of your own, then you should have the device models. So device models, if you have device models, then you can do anything. In fact, I have seen a paper where people were using carbon nanotube models to design memories in the using the ngSpice software. So there you just need to use the device models, suitable device models, and these device models can basically help you to do anything that you want. So if you want to have a look of how does a simple device model look like, so the simple device model, if you see, it looks something like this. So if you see, so if you take, see, this is a model for NMOS. See, this is such a huge model. In fact, you have this much only for the NMOS. This is the NMOS model, and then this is your PMOS model. See, you will have very beautiful things inside. If you sit down, then try to find out everything, each and everything, then everything is available over here. See, the threshold voltage is given. Threshold voltage is given. Then the oxide thickness, if you have a MOSFET, the oxide thickness is there, so that also is given. But temperature is given as 27 degrees centigrade that we are going to do. Is the junction depth, okay? So, and there are many other parameters which time and again I read and time and again I forget, okay? So there are so many things that you can see from here, and these are mandatory, I need to say. But these are very, very old models. That is called level 8 models. These are very old models. But for basic learning and teaching and for picking up things, this is very much okay, very much simple, very much fast. And if you see, I'll show you also a diode model. So if you see a diode, so this diode looks something like this. So for diode, this much is sufficient. For diode, if you want to see the models, so this much diode models is sufficient. In fact, for diode, you don't need to have very strict requirement for models, because ngSpice very well understands the diode models and will automatically use the default model that is available inside this. So see, what is the next point was the same thing that I was trying to say, is that if you want to include specific models, you can do, and you can try things of your own. There is no limit. And the best thing is that it is completely open source. All the codes are available to you, and you can modify any code that you want. So these are concerning what are the type of devices that can be used to simulate the circuit. And then if you want to see the circuit analysis, then you can do DC and AC analysis, transient and stages analysis, and more. I mean to say it's not limited. So I told you that it is it is a very capable software to do all simulation that you want to perform. So so there is no limit to its thing. But there are very simple points that you should remember. Like if you see a code, I will show you a code over here. Like let us say we say resistances. So if you want to say resistance, we use resistances R, inductor as L, capacitance as C. So the moment you put R, like in a circuit, you can have tens, hundreds of resistances. So the first one R is then 1. Then if you have inductor, then you can have R1, L1, 2, L2, L3, whatever you want to do. You want to do the terminal, just change it to C1, C2, C3, C4. And this first letter identifies basically what is the component that is being used. So if you use a component, then this component will definitely have a value. So it will have a value. So why I'm trying to stop you over here is that when you write the code, you should be very much careful how to use the values, because see, if I want to use a resistance, then if I want to put kilo ohms resistance, then this 1K is enough. Capital K or small k, everything is same over here. Okay, but for this particular things you have to be very much careful. This U is not in capitals. Even if you put U in capitals, it will tell us take 10 to the power minus 6. If you put capital N, then also it will take 10 to the power minus 9. Okay. So you have to be very much careful with how do you take the component values, because component values will decide your result. So you should be very much careful. I will send this PDF to you, and you can use it for yourself. So see, so it is what the first line says, that letters immediately following a numbers, letters immediately following a number that are not a scale factors are ignored. Like let us say V. Do you see V here in any scale factor? No, we don't have anywhere V. There is no V. V is not there. We don't have V over here. So this will be ignored. So this is the meaning of the first sentence. The letters immediately following a number that are not scale factors are ignored, and letters immediately following the scale factor are ignored. Okay, like let us say if you write this kilohertz, see this one, kilohertz. So it will not take this hertz as anything. It will understand that this is kilo. Rest is all meaningless for it. Okay. How does it know that it's frequency? Because you will specify it at a certain place where frequency is only used. Okay. So see, that's what it says. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one are all the same number. Okay. So when you select the components, please be careful when you select to understand the multipliers. Okay. So the first point that you should remember about the ngSpice is that it is a like we take any simple text editor. Please don't take Microsoft Word, because Microsoft Word is bulky. So the simplest thing that you can use in anything is that text file. Okay. Use a text editor, any text editor that you have, not Microsoft Word. Okay, even Windows have got this .txt software, so this called TextPad. Okay, so you can use a TextPad and write all your program. Okay, and you can, when you write the programs, that programs basically are called the netlist, because it is a list of the net. Like if you generate any circuit that you have, let us say you have a circuit something like this, any circuit that you have. So this is basically a net for which the list is created, so it's called the net list. Fine. So here is the net list. So when you write the program, the first line of the ngSpice, the first line of the ngSpice file is not executed. What used to happen in earlier days is that they had cards. So people had cards, and in the card they had this card used to be fit to the machine. So if you remember, if you have read some old books about how the computer generation evolved, so there you must have seen that earlier we had computer where they took punched cards. So these were basically punched cards. So on these punch cards, you had punches, which used to tell what the program is all about and what needs to be stored. So on the first line, they had a comment what this program was. So basically, so the first line always has to be ignored, because I have a deck of cards, because it will be a deck of cards, and my program will be on deck of cards, and the deck of cards, the first line will say what I am trying to do. So that is why the first line is always ignored. So in fact, in a ngSpice program, the comments are basically done using asterisk comment. This is a comment. So if you want to put comments in a ngSpice file, so you have to put asterisk. Okay, but for the first line, you need not put asterisk. The ngSpice by virtue of its heredity, it says that I am not going to evaluate the first line, and first line basically stands for comment. So if you want to write something, please you can skip this the comment symbol, and you can proceed with writing a program. The another most important thing is that, let us say I'm drawing one small circuit for you. This is one circuit. Some kind of bias that I'm giving. So this is R1, R2, R3, R4. Now, in this, sorry, this needs to be joined together. Cannot be open. Right. So, when you write a program, so we will try to put this particular circuit, or for any circuit that we have in the next slides. So we'll try to put the node numbers for them. But the reference node number, or called the ground, or called the datum, is basically the node number 0. So if you are writing some kind of node numbers, please make sure that your 0 is your reference node. So here you can put this as 0. Here if you want to put 1000, hardly matters, no problem. But you cannot put 0 over here or 1 over here. This has to be 0. So the reference node or the ground node has to be 0. So that is the most important thing that you should note, and you should not make error with this. Otherwise, you will have program that will not compile. So let us try to put the node numbers over here. So basically this is 0. So this can be 1. This can be 2. This can be 3. So we have 3 and this 0. So we have 4 nodes in this particular circuit. So among these 4 nodes, we have to distribute the circuit. So you see that this is node 1 and node 2. So we'll say that we'll write a single line by saying that resistance 1 is connected between node 1 and 2, and its value is, let us say, 100k. You need not write kilo ohms, because the moment you write R, then it understands that we have a resistance. Similarly, for resistance 3, you will put between 2 and 3. For resistance 4, you will put resistance between 3 and 0. For resistance 2, you will put between 2 and 0. So that is more than enough. And then you have a DC supply, and that is being connected between node 1 and node 0. Some notification from your end. No, nothing. Fine. So this, you have to be careful about the nodes. So this is what is written about the comments over here. This is about the datum of the reference node. And the thing is that if you want to save this ngSpice file, you basically save it in form of .cir or .spice. In fact, even if you don't save with .cir or .spice, it works, because it knows the moment you give ngSpice file, it starts to read. It understands that there is some kind of circuit inside that. But it is good that you label them as .cir or .spice. Okay. And the thing is that, see over here, the circuit components are identified by their first letter of naming, called prefix. Okay. So resistance begins with R. So if you put a small r or capital R, it's resistance. So generally, I prefer to write capital R. Everything I put as capital. Capacitors with C, bipolar transistor with Q, and MOSFET with N. So if you see this, I had shown you that model C, MOSFET is NMOS, NFET. So dot model. So when I write the program using this particular model, I will see that I will put it as NMOS. Just let me open one example file. So let us say that. See. So this is N. The first letter says that this is MOSFET. First letter is MOSFET. P is for PMOS, okay, and N is for NMOS. But this P is not important. This P is helping me only that which MOSFET I am trying to use. But you have to tell finally it also that for the MP1 you have to use this as MOSFET, and for MP2 you have to use this particular MOSFET. That needs to be told. But this basically, the first one basically tells you that this is a MOSFET. This one MOSFET. Okay. So dot include model. So if you see the models, what the model is there? See, model NFET. Okay, and MOS level 8. Okay. So here from here it takes all the information for NMOS, right? Yes, fine. So let us proceed. So, but the final program, if you look at this program, the final program has got dot end. Okay, so you must end the program. The program starts and the program must end in dot end actually. All the important commands that control dot AC, dot plot, not plot, dot end control, everything has a dot. Okay, so you have to be careful with that also. So you should not miss actually. Right. So let us now try to see this particular resistor divider circuitry. This circuit that we need to look at over here. So see, this first line is always a comment. You need not put a star. But people, they are very much habituated, so they put star. So if you want to put star, then it's okay, because maybe you hit some interlines, and when you hit some interlines, the first line will no longer be a comment. So you better put a star. Then if you hit the enter, then it does not matter. So see, in this particular circuit example that I have taken from this particular website, again it has been taken from its original website. So even if you want to learn, you can go to that website and take and learn few things from there actually. I'll explain you, and you can also use those websites for learning. So see this particular thing, this is 0. This is node 0, this is node 0. Again, this is node 0. Fine. Both are the reference nodes, so that is being 0. So you see what they are trying to tell you, that I have connected this voltage. Basically, V stands for some voltage. So I can have so many voltages. So I can put V1, V2, V3, whatever I want to put, I can put so many voltages, V1, V2, V3, how many, whatever voltages I have, I can put. But the first says that it is a voltage source. So you can have a voltage source, and then the voltage source is connected between this input node. See, this is your input node. You can use the what do you call alphabets also. So like this is the input node, and between the 0. So see, this is 0. This is mandatory. You must be careful with this. So it is connected between the input node and the 0 node, and its value is 1 volt. See, we are not putting anything 1 volt or something. If you want to say 1000 volt, just put key 1000 volts. That will be enough. Okay. So you need not say that it is a volt. You should not write. There is no need to write the unit after that. Okay. So the first node is connected between the first voltage source is connected between input and the 0, and its value is 1. Now look at this resistance 1. So it is 1 kilo ohm, and it is connected between the input node and the output. Right? So see, this is connected between the input node and the output node. Now you may ask, like, is it mandatory to put the input first and like this node coming first, this node coming the second? No, it's not at all mandatory. It understands this particular thing. So, and this is value is 1 kilo ohm. Again, this R2 is connected between output node and 0. See, this is 0 again, comes over here and comes over here. So this is this particular. Okay. So this program is taken from this particular website. I show you this website so that we also keep in sync from where I am teaching. So let us now try to, maybe you can also try to run this program, and let us side by side do everything, how it is done. So let's see, this is a Linux terminal. Okay, this is a terminal. If you have a Linux machine, then you can either do Control, Alt and T. If you do Control, Alt and T, press Control, CTRL, Control L plus T. Then you get the Linux terminal, the command window. This is called the command window. Or otherwise, if you have Ubuntu, you can just search over here and type terminal. So terminal comes over here. Okay. Now, few of you may be in this Ubuntu systems. So you see, this is only for maybe for doing some work that I want to do. So I'll also tell you something about called VMware. So if you have a VMware is freely available. So if you take a VMware player, you take it's free to use for some time, or maybe you can just take a trial version. and then this is your VMware. Yes, this is a VMware. See, so you can install operating systems over here. So this VMware basically hosts your guest operating system. Okay, so if you want to just learn Ubuntu for doing some work, then maybe you can use this VMware to run your Ubuntu systems. Fine. So let us that is that actually. So let us now try to see how we simulate a simple program. So this is the program that we are trying to do. This is a simple program that we are trying to do. I have already typed this program, I have copied this program. So let me try to do this. So this is your where is that? This is not the one. It's also not the one. Just a minute. Yeah, so this is the one that we have to take from here. So these two programs we'll take from this folder. Let's see, and then we go to this queue and we place over here. Okay, because already we have something there. Let us see. Fine. So let us now try to do this small RC. So the same program that has been shown over here, always on top. Not okay. Always on top. Okay. So let us now try to see this program. So this is exactly the same program that we are trying to do. Here we have voltage divided netlist, voltage 1 between input and 0, R1 between this and this. Then this I have just written this thing, it's not required. So let us do this. Let us now try to run this program. So what I will do is that using this terminal, what I will do is that there are two ways to going to the terminal. Okay, I will tell you the simple one. So if you look at this simple RC, it's written that I'm in the desktop. So you go to CD desktop, then you go to TU, just press tab, it comes, then 11C. So this is my ngSpice. Okay, so I can do the ngSpice. But before that, if let us say you want to, if you want to what do you call install a if you want to install a ngSpice, then how do you do that? Installing also is important. You must learn how to install it. So let us now try to do. So there are a few commands that you should understand. In fact, you will get it on the same website also. So there is one website command called sudo apt-get update. It will update all the resources for you. So it asks for password. So being a scientific community, or you should focus on softwares like Ubuntu, Linux, because initially you would feel that it's very problematic, but later on, once you start using it, it is really nice and simple. And the best part is that there is no virus inside that. Okay, you can have some program that becomes corrupt or somebody may corrupt it, but if you keep it nicely, it is very fast. My laptop is very old. Windows does not run on this. I run Linux with nice, and it was beautiful. So once you do this sudo apt-get update, so that basically updates all the resources that it has got. See, it downloaded so many things from so many places that such and such softwares are available in such and such servers. Then you can do sudo apt-get install. Then you can do ngSpice. Okay, if you hit, I already have got ngSpice installed. Let me try to do what it does. Okay, ngSpice is already the newest version, and need not install. Okay, so that is how do you install the ngSpice. Sometimes you may have problem in installing the ngSpice. Then you may go to something like this. So this is the place where you have to go and do the tinkering actually. So this is Ubuntu software. You can do the server from India, or maybe you can go and do the main server. Okay. If I do the main server against password, ask password. So give the password. So now everything comes from the main server. So if something is not available in some server, you can go and check it. Or maybe you can also locate the base server for you. Now we are giving other. You can locate. Okay. So this is mirror.csc IIT. I think it is Kharagpur or Kanpur. They have this server over there. So these are the places in where they have this Ubuntu repository in India. Okay. These are the repository in India. So if you want to download from India, you can download. If you want to download from any server, you want to download. It's up to you. So this is the way you can do things. So let us now try to run this simple program that we have. So let us now try to do ngSpice. Then it is simple. Yes. The program is run actually. Okay. If there is an error, it will give you error. Okay. I always suggest that it generates, if you have a very long program, it will generate a long list of logs. Okay. Log file, if you think that log files are useless, but if you have some problem in some of your programs, sit for half an hour and read the log files. You will definitely get an idea where the problem is. So now this program has been run. Okay. So when this program has been run, what are the other things that needs to be done with this program? I will tell you. See, same thing is appearing over here. What they showed us here. Always on top. Okay. So see, same thing appears over here. ngSpice is 31, my one is 27. It's not updating. Maybe Indian repository does not have 31. I was on Indian repository, so I was having ngSpice 27. So see, this is University Berkeley CAT group, copyright, this all these things. So the first name came over here. See the first name, voltage divider netlist. Okay, so it is voltage divider netlist. The circuit is voltage divider netlist. So it will give you the circuit name what you are trying to do. Now they are trying to tell us what to do. Okay, so to write source, it will tell you what is the program actually. Let us now try to just simply put the output, print out. Okay. No, my program is something different. Let me see. No, I think there is some problem with this program. Just quickly, let us. Oh, same. Oh, .ndc, .end is not there. So this is the error. Fine. So you have to be very much careful. Okay. So now see it will run. Fine. So I do Control Z and I run it again. Fine. So I now do print out. There is no such vector. Okay, I think the operating point needs to be set. Okay, let us do that. So source. Okay, so now it is run. So now I will do OP. Operating point has been done. The analysis is done now. Okay, now I will do print output. Okay. See, everything is the same. I meant to say these all steps are necessary. So this is necessary so that you basically do the analysis. So this OP is basically doing the analysis. But why do we need to do it in such a way? Because if you can just write all these things in the program, then the program is automatically run by itself. So let us try to see some program where things have already been written. So if you see this program, see, if you see this simple program, this also is RC circuit. So if you see over here, everything has been written from beforehand. So if you do this plotting, that plotting, everything is done. See, it's a good practice. I told you that to put star before only, so that there is no problem later on. So it has been done that way. We'll run all these programs slowly, one by one, and we'll teach you things slowly. Fine. So let us now try to see, go ahead, write another program. So see, in this particular program, basically now they are trying to do the pulse analysis. Okay, they are trying to do the pulse. So they are trying to give it a pulse. Okay, by doing the pulse, we can do transient analysis and all. So they are now trying to give it a pulse signal. So again, in this network also, see, this has to be 0. So let us, so this is voltage source 1. Let us see how the voltage source 1 is connected, 1 is connected. See, so voltage source 1 is connected between input and the 0. See, input and the 0, it has to be there. Then DC, it fixes the operating points. DC 0 operating, it's fixing the operating point. Then you're giving the pulse. So what is the pulse? The pulse is called, the pulse has got some format that you have to give. The low level, so the low level is 0. So that means the signal starts from 0. Then high value is 5 volt. The maximum high is 5 volt. Okay? So delay, time delay, because you know that you can never have a pulse which is like this, just perpendicular. You will always have a pulse which is slowly rising. So it gives us a realistic feeling. So that is why it is called, oh no, sorry, this is delay, sorry, this is the delay. TD is the delay. Then TR is your rise time, TF is the fall time, PW is the pulse width, period is the period, okay, and this is the phase that is information is put over here. But in this particular circuit, the phase information is not required. So if you want to put phase, you can put, because you have such a design criteria. So this is how the thing is done over here. So see, the resistance 1 is connected between there is some okay, fine. R1 is connected between INT. See, this time INT came first and input. I told you that this immaterial IN first and INT next, and the value is 10. So this is resistance 1. We have so many resistances. So how do you identify them? R1, R2. So this is R1 and R2. So R2 is connected between the output node and the ground. So see, this is the output node and the ground. So this is the way how the connection is being done. And the capacitances, if you see, the capacitance is connected between the internal node INT and 0, and the value is 1 micro. See, this mu is micro, fine. And C2 is connected between out and 0, and it is 100 nanofarad. And the command program ends in .end. Fine. So this is how you write the command. So simple command. So let us now try to see some commands ourselves. So let us try to now see. Let us now first of all try to see a diode characteristics. Okay. So let me take to that particular folder. So let me search where I have kept that. So it is diode. So this is diode. Okay. So I have to navigate to desktop. I'm already on desktop. I'll command quit this, Control C, Control Z, Vox, CD. Okay, so CD. Another way of opening is that I did not go that way. I simply right click here, opening terminal. So I'll directly land into this particular folder. So this is diode 2. So I just do ngSpice diode 2. See, this is our characteristics. Okay? The problem is that you are not getting a feel of the cut-in voltage over here, is just because this plot is in log. Let us see. This plot is in log. Y is log axis. Okay, Y is log. So that is why you have that particular thing. So let us now try to see we have got limited time. Let me just show you a few simulations so that you have example. You have how does it work kind of. So let us now try to go to some kind of let us now try to do the MOSFET characteristics. Okay, so let us now try to do the MOSFET characteristics. So I go to cd dot desktop, then basic gets. Let us now try to do the IDVD characteristics of a NMOS. So I do ngSpice n minus IDVD.cir. So you have this characteristics that you have. So you can, if you want to generate the hard copy, you can previously generate this hard copy. The hard copy will be generated for you. So quickly, let us now try to see the other program. So, but there is no fun in just simulating it. Let us now try to see what the program contains actually. So see here. So this is a NMOS transistor that has been put over here. So they have put that this is a N-channel IDVD. So see, the first line is not commented because it's not required. Second line is comment, so it is N-channel IDVD characteristics. So VDS is connected between drain and 0 volt. Now, if you take a MOSFET, so MOSFET basically is something like this. Okay. So we have bulb. So you have gate, drain, source, and bulb. So the numbering itself is in such a way, say that the gate has to come, okay, then drain has to come, then source has to come, and the bulk has to come. So that basically means you have to put it in such a way so that you have to tell that the gate is at this particular node number and gate has to come first, so that the simulator automatically knows that the first terminal for the MOSFET that this fellow is saying is basically gate. Then so the gate should come first, so the gate should be here, then your drain should be here, then your source should be there, then the bulb should be there. So if you label it this way, then basically you are labeling the MOSFET correctly and you will get the characteristic. If you interchange them, then if you let us say you interchange this, then the MOSFET will treat this as gate, whereas this is a drain. So you should be careful when you are doing such kind of labeling. Fine. So where is that? So see over here. So we have gate. Yes. So another important thing is that for any MOSFET that you have, the MOSFET is basically something like this. So this is your source, drain, this is your gate, and then this is your bulk. So you see what they are showing is that they are saying the length and width. Okay, so they are saying that this MOSFET is 1 micrometer, 1 mu. And what is the width? Width is also 1 micron. So this is unit 1 by 1, and this is the area of the drain and the area of the source. Okay, so this also is very important. So how much is the area of the source, this source area, and how much is the drain area? So they are saying it as 10 pico. Okay, 10 pico, 10 pico. So much of area. Okay. So now they are doing the DC analysis. Okay, DC is VDS between 0 and 3, and it is stepping at 0.1 volt. Again, VGS also is sweeping. It is going from 1 to 2 volts, and the stepping is 0.5. So using this particular model, this model is for the PMOS. From here it is PMOS. We are supposed to use only for the NMOS. So this kind of model is being used. In fact, if you have any doubt, this is the best place to land. So if you can find, let us say MOSFET. What I said, MOSFET. Go to MOSFET. Okay. So it says, sorry, drain comes first, gate comes second, then source, and then bulk. Fine. So please let me correct myself, and it says that this has to be the thing. So it has to be N of drain, gate, source, and bulk. So it comes like this: drain, gate, source, and bulk. So it comes as drain, gate, source, bulk. So am I correct? Yes, I am correct. Drain, gate, no, I did just the opposite. So it should be drain, gate, source, and bulk. These two are correct. So if you have any confusion, it is suggested that please refer the manual. And manual, you should not feel why I am referring the manuals. Manuals are mandatory to do programming. Otherwise, you will be busy memorizing all the things actually. So that is not at all mandatory. In fact, there are some standard codes that are already supplied. Now you design things according to yourself. Okay. So this is how the MOSFET looks like. So let us now try to do the characteristics for other MOSFET. So we have so with P, let us do for the P. See, PMOS, it is just the opposite, because the bias voltage has been not been scaled. You could multiply it and then it can come. Okay, but in fact this is the most important thing that you can do. So this is how the thing look like. Let us now try to do the IDVG. See, the threshold voltage, we had seen something around 7 volt. It was for the NMOS. Yes, we did it for the, for the NMOS. Let us now try to see over here. Doesn't quit. Okay. So if you see over here, see threshold voltage, very threshold voltage, 0.5. Of course, 0.57, we are somewhere in the middle. So okay, we are getting this threshold voltage is coming over here. You can see 0. Of course, you could take a tangent, something, it comes somewhere here, 0.57 something, 0.57. So if you see this graph, it comes 0.57 something, it comes. So maybe it starts to conduct from here. So this is how the simulations are basically done. So let me quickly show you a few more simulations for the gates. Okay. So what all I have. So let us now try to see basic gates. So let us now try to see NAND gate. Okay. So let us now try to see ngSpice NAND. See the NAND gate. So this is these are the two inputs. Okay, these are the two inputs that is there. So in fact they should have overlapped it. If they overlap it, then you can see it very easily. Okay. Okay. So this is one of the inputs. This is another input. Okay. So at this particular point, both inputs are high, so the output is low. Fine. Just the opposite of AND. And at this particular point, this input is high, low. This input is high, so the output is high. Right. So this is the NAND gate example. I will tell you where we can modify the thing so that both can appear at the same time. See, plot VA. Let us now try to do one thing. Plot VA. Plot Control C. 5 plus VB, then 10 plus V out. Fine. Let me just comment these two lines and see. Star So this will not quit until I shut down. Okay, let us now try to do the same thing. See, now we have plotted the two things, all the things together. Just what we did is that VA we kept it here, VB we shifted it by 5 volts, and then the output we kept it as another 5 volt shift. So that both all the three things are coming together. So now if you can see, you can easily verify the output characteristic. Again, both are 1, so output is 0. This is 1, 0, output is 1, and at this particular point there is a transition, so this is some kind of glitch over here, but at this particular point both are 0, so the output is 1. So this is how your things look like. So you can start. I will send you this file to, I'll mail it to Sonirvar sir, and then maybe he will circulate among you people. So this way we have seen 2, 3 circuits. Let me show you a few more circuitries. So let us now try to see XOR gate. Now how this has been designed, that also is that you should also understand actually. So let us now try to see is that how do we do that. What also needs to be understood. How did we do that? So let me minimize this. So this is 2-input NAND gate. So we have VDD and supply as 0. Between VDD is between supply and 0, that is 3 volts. So this 0 is basically our datum. Okay. So let us now try to make it. Let us now try to see. So we have somewhere 0. So let us now try to take 0. Let us now try to take some 0 over here. Fine. So see, this is a supply that is connected between here, some node over here. So this is supply. So we have this supply, and in the supply we have got a 3 volts. Okay, so let us put that this is 3 volt. We are ground. Now let's try to see the MOSFET. M1 basically stands for the MOSFET. So it is basically connected between output. So output is here. Fine. So we have the output here, then output and some kind of node A. Okay, fine. So let us first draw the circuit for the NAND gate. So this is the way that you have to do it finally. So this is one of the terminals and this is another terminal, fine. So the point is that you now have to make a node numbers for this and just put it over here. So now, but another thing is that most important thing is that this needs to be specified, length and width. See, one very important observation that you should make over here is that if you see this NMOS, this is NMOS. So this NMOS, the length of both the MOSFETs are same. If this is a NMOS, we have two NMOS and two PMOS over here. The length of both of them are the same. But you see, the width of the NMOS is lower and the width of the PMOS is more. Why? Because the mobilities of electron mobility is 2.5 times approximately, 2.5 times the whole mobility. So it is a very standard practice that the MOSFET, which is P-type, basically has to be wider as compared to MOSFET that is N-type. So you see over here, the width of the PMOS is basically more as compared to the width of the NMOS. So let us now try to see some more circuits. So if you see inverter, let us now try to do the inverter. Okay. So how does the inverter look like? See. So in the inverter, there are so many things that have already been done. I'll send you these files. If you want to run the code according to you, you can comment out the things and then you can learn. So let us go to the terminal. This is not fitting. We have got inverter dot this files. No, it's not the secrets. Just give me 5 minutes more, we'll stop. See, so this is the inverter. So you see basically the inputs and the outputs, they are just out. So this is the input, 5 volt plus input, and this is the output. So output is the blue one. So if you see over here, then in that case, they're just the opposite, okay? So the input looks to be a very perfect shape, okay? But if you see at the output is basically rounded off. So let us try to see what all we have done in the circuit to get this. If you don't connect any kind of component, you will not get this characteristic. So let us now try to see what they have done. See, in the output, they have connected a capacitor. See, the capacitor is 0.1 picofarad. Okay. So this, because of this charging and discharging of this particular capacitor, you basically get a rounding phenomenon. Let us try to comment this capacitor. Okay, let us try to comment this capacitor and see what actually happens. So if you remember the snapshot, I'm just showing you once again, and then I'll close it. And now let us try to see it again. See, it is perfectly going up. There is no rounding phenomena. Of some slight rounding of phenomena there because of the internal capacitance of the MOSFET, So this is the way you can experiment things, you can tinker with things yourself, and the best part is that you need not go to any lab or something. It can be done at your room itself. Fine. So where is that? Yes, it's here. So let us now again try to remove this and see what basically is done. So this will work that way. Fine. Now let us try to see not. Let us now try to see not. See, this is not. So in fact, over here the program is very nicely written, so that it is. So this is the output that you have. Okay, but not because it has got higher what we call loading. So that is why it has got more rounding effect that is being shown over here. So if you see the logical effort of this particular circuit, you will get more logical effort in a NOR circuitry. So that is why you must have heard that most of the pen drives are NAND pen drives, NAND memory. That is why they prefer this NAND memories. So this is how things are done. So in fact, I will send you all these programs in this PPT. You can try doing yourself also. Okay. So I think we should end this, because in such a small time it's difficult to cover up everything. But basically the thing is that when you start writing the program, you first of all need to write the program and put out the node numbers. Once you write the node numbers, then it is more than enough. And if you are doing some BJTs, you have to be careful that you put in correct models. Okay, so if you have your models, like let us now try to see the BJT models. Okay, if you search the internet, BJT ngSpice models. So if you see over here it's given nodes BJT ngSpice models.text. Sometimes we have to search. Yeah, see. So this is what is there. It should not be so big, not that way. Yeah, this is the one. So this much, if you want, just try to take. This is for the diode, and somewhere you will have the MOSFET, and PN is there. Okay, see, one PN is there. So if you just take from here, it will be enough. It will be this much. This much is more than enough. These are the lines that is there. If you take the correct models, then your work is done. Okay. So let us call it a day. I mean to say, we were supposed to cover up more, but it's the slots are very short. So I could show some programs how it works basically, and where you can go to find out the important head that you want. So this is the place that you should be landing. Okay. So this is Berkeley University website. You have so many things over here. They also maintain things. So, but this is the place where you should be landing in ngSpice. In ngSpice, everything is over here. Everything is maintained and updated over here. Okay, thank you. Any questions, please?
If you have any questions, Sir is here.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable talk. Participants have some questions. May I, on behalf of them?
Yes, please.
Okay, the first question raised was which software is used in circuit simulation?
See, there are plenty of software, software that you can use. Let me write basically. See, if you want to do, there are so many from Synopsys. If you talk of Synopsys is a big group. They do circuit simulation and they have got HSpice. If you do HSpice also is very reputed, and it is accepted, worldwide accepted. Okay, HSpice is there. If you go to Cadence, then you have. If you go to Cadence also, there very popular software. These are the two things that you can basically use for. These are the most popular one. You may have several flavors of this, but these are the two most popular ones that can be used to do any circuit design that you want. They are very elaborate. Everything is available in these two particular things, and they are reputed. The most point is that when you write a paper, you will basically mention which software basically you use. So that also makes lots of difference. There are plenty of software that emerge every day, but these are the things that you have to use basically. Synopsys, they have got one very important software called CentOS.
Okay, the next question raised by the same participant,
Yes.
that what is rover circuit simulation?
No, I have no idea of what about rover. What simulation? Rover.
Rover circuit simulation.
No, I have not heard of it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, the question for from the next participant is, what is the application of simple register divider circuit?
See, it's a simple divider circuitry. You can use it anywhere that you want to. Like, let us say you want to split up some voltages, you want to bias something, then maybe you can use so many circuitry connected together and apply some voltages. If you apply some voltage, then basically you will have so many V1, this is V2, this is V3. So if you want to turn on something or some kind of circuitry, or maybe you want to bias a transistor, you can basically use this. In fact, the best application of voltage divider circuitry is this biasing of this transistor. Here also you use the voltage divider biasing. This is one resistor that divides the voltage, and then over here this is another resistor that divides the voltage. So this transistor is biased around this particular resistor divider circuitry. So basically you have to decide what you want to plan, and you can have a variety ranges of voltages that you want to generate. But see, the one problem is that you will have power dissipation over here. You will have power dissipation over here. So that is why the concept of DC to DC conversion came into picture. DC to DC conversion. Okay? So whatever voltages you want, you can use DC to DC conversion and generate particular voltage. Otherwise, current keeps on flowing through the circuitry, so that they have their power drop. I square R drop is always there. So you unnecessarily drain your battery. So instead of using this voltage divider, you better use a DC to DC converters that is really available in market. Whatever voltages you want, they can be tuned also. So that is much better application of this voltage divider circuitry. Yes.
Okay, the next question is, does this only work on Linux?
No, that's what I told you in the very beginning, is that if you go to this particular website, you can see that they've got lots of flavor. And if you say you can work in Linux, as well as you can Windows version also. See, this Windows version is there. Way out in 2010 and 12, we didn't have any Windows version. So Windows version is there. Download and install in this 64-bit version. It's available. It's very easy. No issues with that.
Okay, I hope the participants are carefully listening the answers. The next question
Hello?
raised by the participant. Hello.
Hello. Sorry, sir. Actually, I have a query. So if you please be kind to me, may I please?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. My humble request to the Honorable Resource Person, sir, is that this is a very excellent topic, but a vast one. And in this very short period of time, it's not possible to cover the whole thing. So if I want to actually explore further, sir, what sort of, materials you would love to suggest us? Thank you very much.
Sir, the first of all is that you should go to this particular website. This is the website that contains all the information regarding the ngSpice, and all the information, all the simulation, all the examples that you get on this particular website. Plus, there are lots of websites being maintained at university also. Like if you go to IIT Guwahati, even they also have a website of their own. So let me just see IIT Guwahati, VLSI lab. They will also be maintaining. If you go to IIT Bombay website, VLSI, they will also have ngSpice. Okay, so they also upload lots of materials. But let me just see this one. See, they have got a kind of separate thing from them actually. If you see this website, this is one PDF that this fellow makes and has made and uploaded. So you can go to university websites also, see he has got programs also, well written programs also that is there. So you can look up into these programs and try running those programs. Since the Windows version is already available, that is not an issue. You can run it from anywhere. In fact, there are virtual labs also available. If you search, I have seen few virtual labs also where you can run all these programs without installing your computer. If these labs are virtual, then you can use in mobile phones also. So, but I need to say there are, please be careful that there are some websites where you may find circuits wrong also. So the best thing is to go to university websites and this particular place, okay, sourceforce.net. So these are the things that I would suggest that.
Okay, thank you very much. Sir, apart from these blogs, any lab to suggest?
There are various blog spots that I have seen that you can do. They suggest things and you can ask. And the most important that you can go to ResearchGate also. People have a lot of things over there also. So things are there also. So I'm going to say it's not that it's a very vast topic. It's very kind of limited. The knowledge is vast, but the resources are not that vastly available. Mostly ngSpice is maintained at the SourceForge, so you can download things from there. So that I would suggest those websites only. So I'll send you all these links that I downloaded just now, zipped in a folder to Sir, and Sir maybe will circulate it to you.
Okay, sure. I will circulate
Thank you
the
very
same
much
to the
for being so
participants.
kind to us. Thank you very much, sir. It was really very excellent lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
The next question asked was which one is the best open source software package? Is it KiCad, ngSpice, or Scilab?
See, Scilab is a different software. Maybe it is like alternative to MATLAB, but this ngSpice is the most reputed one. And any software that you use, there are plenty of software. There's one more software that I will write over is called LTSpice. LTSpice. This is completely graphical. You can land onto this website also. Even this is completely graphical. I meant to say, if you feel that doing coding is tough, then maybe you can go to this particular website also and you can learn. But among all these things, the ngSpice is the core, and it has got good reputation among researchers throughout the world. It has got good reputation. So it depends upon you what you choose. If you want to choose this also is the same ngSpice version only, but it's completely graphical. The code is the same. It has been circulated by Analog Devices, so that you can use their products to do the simulation and do your own designing. So in this particular software, you will already have the modules inbuilt in library will be inbuilt. So that is there. So I mean to say, you can choose what's your application. You can choose accordingly. If you have got a very good model that is calibrated, you can use ngSpice as well. No issues.
Okay.
I ngSpice is the best.
Okay, thank you very much. The last question was raised by one of our MCA student. Is does this software support different form of plots as output, like 3D plot?
No. Since we have only current and voltages, you can only have X and Y plot. We don't have any three-dimensional plot in this.
Okay, I hope these are all about the question and answers. I hope all the participants are clear with their queries. So thank you, sir. Thank you on behalf of the whole fraternity of Department of IT, Tripura University. So as we have one of your colleague, Dr. Shonibar Muzumdar, we'd like to very much have you in our department physically in near future.
Okay, definitely.
Thank you for your precious.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sangha sir.
Sir,
Okay.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, with kind permission from you, I have humble request. If you please be kind to us, may I please?
Yes, of course. You can go ahead.
Sir, right now, actually, I am here in the coastal zone of West Bengal, and unfortunately, the network connectivity is not that much good. Sometimes the screen is getting blurred,
Okay.
but the sessions are quite excellent, and actually, there are very hands-on session. That's
Yes,
why,
yes.
if you please be kind to us to share the recordings by day,
Yes,
then it
of
will
course.
be very much.
The recorded lectures and the materials and whatever the material will be shared by the respective experts. That will share all the materials to you, including the recorded videos also.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for being so
Okay,
kind
okay.
to us.
Oh,
When
one more
actually
thing.
it will be.
One more thing. The thing is that here we are recording, no doubt, but YouTube is having a limit of 128 MB per video. So we may need to edit. For that, we will require some time. So if some videos are more than 128 MB, so for that we'll be uploading after the program. Okay, and if it is within 128 MB, we'll be uploading immediately.
Sir, in that case, I have a request. Mind,
Yes, yes,
I mean, it could be actually shared via Google Drive, if you don't mind, please.
Yes,
yes. But
we'll
we
try
have
for that. We'll
limitation
try.
I mean,
also
through
for that.
Google.
So we'll be uploading the videos
No, no.
in
In Google
YouTube
Drive,
channel.
I think, sir, in Google Drive, I think there is no limitation. So it will be excellent if
No,
you please be kind of to share it.
we'll be trying to share in both the form, if possible.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you
okay.
very much.
And it was so nice to have all of the participants, without whom it might not be a successful one. So thank you for the day. We'll be meeting in the same time. That means in 2:30. The session will be starting from 2:45. So I hope all the participants will join at 2:30. The first lecture in the tomorrow's session, the first lecture will be handled for the topic latex. That means how we can use latex in online mode, and that would be taken care by Dr. Alok Roy of Department of IT, Tripura University. So thank you very much, and I hope all the participants have already filled the feedback form. If not, please fill it up. Thank you so much.